Good afternoon and welcome back to Elevate Your Business Chat. Today we have Rana Hyatt with Solis. Welcome, Rana. Please introduce yourself, your company, and what makes you guys awesome.
Thank you, Kent, so much for having us. Yes, I am Rana Hyatt, the founder of Solis, the beauty of clean technology. We are a makeup brush sanitizer for professional artists and makeup enthusiasts. And we sanitize your makeup brushes, bacterial, viral, and fungal, all in 60 seconds with the push of a button. No water.
Wow, that is fantastic. We're going to cut right there. We'll make a commercial out of it. It's all yours.
Thank you.
Well done. What is the biggest challenge you've overcome since starting your business?
Getting to market. I think that was one of the biggest challenges, and patenting was also another big challenge for us because we have a patent piece of technology in our first iteration. So the product you actually see behind me. Those were two of the biggest challenges, and then figuring out. I feel like with startup life, it's all the things, but really it's just what sits heaviest at the moment. So for us, it's about not being the bottleneck and hiring the right people, on getting them right on board, and then just like having the courage to ask when you need help. I think that was a really, really big one. That's always been a big one for me because it's like I can do it, I know I can do it, but I literally don't have the time to do it. So I need to pick the right people in order to have the right you know, movement through our process of development.
I want to focus on that for a second. So you said one of the biggest challenges was getting to market. So how did you address it and how did you overcome it? Or how did you resolve it? And where is it at today?
So we are going to market. We are in pre-sales. We'll be ready by November. So please pre-order. Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges was actually asking for help. That was one of the biggest things was, getting to market, but knowing I had to do all these things myself and then not being able to ask for help because we are built, the A-type personality is like built to be like, we're proficient, we can do it. But every day would, the 12-hour days would go by and then you're missing family dinners and all the like, and then you're still nowhere. So asking for help and knowing that the people that you're asking had endless amounts of resources and networks that you're just like, wow, I should have just like learned how to ask for help earlier. I would have gotten further ahead. So yeah, that was one of the biggest ones.
That is amazing insight. And I wish I could share that with everybody because that is true to myself, true to you, true to probably all of my clients, and that we just do it for so long by ourselves. And then once we accept that help and the willingness of the people we partner with to go down the journey makes it so much easier to do it. There's a phrase in sports. If you want to go fast, go alone.
Right.
If you want to do it well and do it right, go together.
Yeah.
If you want to have fun and do it together. Another guy we interviewed about a month and a half ago, we were just going through some of the edits and he said something funny. He goes, entrepreneurship is a group sport. And the more people that we can align with and find ourselves with goes a long, long way for sure. What are the top 3 challenges that you face or that your industry faces? Now, it looks like you're a industry setter. You're kind of creating an industry by itself. But is there an industry to makeup brush cleaning, or we just simply toss them and buy new ones?
No, there's definitely an industry. We like to be in the beauty tech industry. That's our own segment and category. But beauty technologies existed beyond just sanitation. I think we are, in terms of beauty sanitation, we're kind of the first leaders of that. But when we talk to, chemical formulations, I think people like misperceive how incredibly talented some of the hair and makeup artists are. There's like, we're talking about like, we need to know everything in terms of dermatologically on what's on your skin, how your skin is operating. We need to know what the ingredients are, what things are interacting, what sort of products are interacting in order to actually create the flawless looks that you guys see on Pinterest or on magazines or wherever. That type of skill level, I think there's a lot of depth behind it. And there's honestly, it just needs a university degree. But I think for getting there, I think that's one of the biggest challenges is non-industry professionals understanding what it takes to actually be a professional and what it means to actually, achieve certain looks as easy as they may look on, say, places like Pinterest.
Fantastic. I had no idea, but it seems to make sense. Well, you mentioned TV, and we were making fun of the latest Top Gun movie, and the people who were in it and weren't, and we were kind of chuckling about how pretty they made Tom Cruise, and how they kind of avoided some of the other actresses that were in the first movie, but not the second one. And me and my wife are chuckling, kind of, I guess you can only go so far with makeup. But if you actually look at Tom Cruise and you kind of think about I think he's what, 55 or 60 old man, well, through the art of television and makeup, he definitely doesn't look as old as my dad. So I do kind of chuckle and laugh, and you kind of realize the impact that it can have. And I think you're right. I think, as you mentioned, Pinterest and TikTok, and in a way, the movie industry is a lot larger than it used to be. Everything's on video nowadays. So cleaning up a photo is one thing, but then doing a video like this or an interview is a whole different other thing, and how it's presented, packaged, etc. So fascinating. What is your definition of a successful business?
Being part of a team. I think the definition of a successful business is having people excited to show up to work, and even just being able to hire people and, be participants of a company that you like love and enjoy going there every day. I think I grew up in a family business, and one of our biggest, I like to say, um, biggest like moments of like we've done a good job is always that we treat everybody like family. So we yell at you like family, and then we also praise you like family. So it's one of those, we're in this together sort of commitment. I think that also just comes from within. So I think that's the terms of a successful business that leads a great team, and then there's just cohesiveness there. The other thing is having the mission be for the future, for the world, for the industry. I think leading in that direction is also like one step at a time. We're in this over the long period, and we want to be here for a really long time. And yeah, similar to a family, like generationally pass the torch.
That's great. I love that. So it's everything from togetherness, unity, family, everybody kind of rowing this in the same direction, on board, following the same rules, but also the next iteration or the next version of that is a business and model that succeeds you, and can go on and have a major impact in the world, and can quote unquote outlive you.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that was one of the biggest things I think I learned on the book when I read Good to Great, is like the best CEOs are the ones that you can leave the company and that company will thrive without you. And I think that model is something that we really wanted to model in Solis, is that even without me, that it would still be a successful and viable company, and people still want to participate and purchase and be a part of the mission for Solis.
I'm gonna ask one more question that wasn't on the script. Why Solis? Like what prompted it? What was the passion behind it? What was the what's the word? The genesis of the idea. What prompted it?
So I worked with my parents in the hair industry. And I always realized that there was one niche that everyone kind of like veered away from, and it was like the hair and makeup. And I decided that I love to do both. So I, obviously got everything ready, got my, apprenticeship, did all the stuff. And I started to do on location because it just made sense for me to not have the bridal party come into the salon, but go to where they need to go. So as each individual is getting their hair and makeup done, they can, one bridesmaid can veer off and steam the dresses. And I love that concept. I loved just kind of being like effortless in terms of getting together and getting ready. And as my team was growing, and I was going from like Banff to Invermere to Vancouver to Toronto and doing all these bridal parties and growing my independent on location team, I would have, and especially with my science background, I would have heaps and heaps of like brushes I would have to come home to and clean, and I would have spent hours post work doing the brush cleaning. And when you're young and tenacious, you do it on the spot. Like I would come home and actually do them. And as my contracts got larger and my days got longer, I didn't have the time to do what a perfect example is like the dishes. I literally didn't have time to do the dishes. So I thought there had to be a way. I came home one day after a Banff large bridal party, and I came home and I was like, that's it. I have to find like a hospital grade sanitizer that is able to touch and like disinfect and completely kill whatever is on my makeup brushes, because my biggest fear is cold sores and pink eye and just transmitting those types of things, because once you get herpes, that's it. You have herpes. There's only treatment, there's no cure, and then no one wants to talk about it. And that's my biggest fear in the industry. We are regulated as an industry overall by our provincial and federal regulators, so AHS for us in Alberta. That would be a big thing. It would literally mean that I would ruin my business if I gave a bride pink eye on her biggest day. That's a huge risk, right? So I would have to come home and disinfect and multi-disinfect, and there's multiple steps. And I just like, that's it. I want it so that it's hospital grade and we can do it, as gentle for our very expensive bristles. And 2 years later, and in a little way, thank God COVID happened, because it actually allowed us to stop, because our industry stopped, for us to actually be like, let's buy the 3D printer, let's do all this stuff, and let's create our prototype here. And I can only imagine what Amazon thought we were buying, but we were, we were buying wires, we were buying some stuff that was like 3D printer PLAs. We were buying like petri dishes, lab stuff, and they're like, these guys are cooking something.
No kidding. Hey, that would be a fun list to look at in hindsight, and kind of go all the things that showed up on the door, and it's like, you did what? Good for you. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. One last question.
Yeah.
What do you want to be known for?
For leading the beauty industry forward. I think I want to be known for, like, I don't know, I think we're all standing on the shoulders of giants, right? So I just want to be able to help someone like stand up on my shoulders too. So I think that's what I want to be known for. Just like being helpful.
No, I think that is fabulous. Thanks again. One last plug for your company, and where would people find you when they're ready to buy their sanitation for their makeup and hairbrushes?
Okay, so you can find it at yoursolis.com, because we want you to have your very own. And then it's the same thing on Instagram. So your YOUR dot Solis, SOLIS. And then it's kind of across the board. So please pre-order, even just subscribe, because we want to actually, educate and teach you guys about our product library and our microbe library. So our next iteration, actually, I'll just tell you really quickly, we'll be able to read the microbes on the brushes and just let you know in terms of your skin concerns and product discovery. Those ingredients will sort of interact, and we'll be able to detect them.
Absolutely fantastic. Not only can we have people living in outer space, but apparently we can clean our facial, skin, healthcare, makeup brushes to determine the health of your skin.
Yeah, and you can pop your husband's toothbrush in there too.
No, we don't want to know what's going on in my mouth. Awesome. Thank you. You've been more than generous with your time. And please reach out to Rana Hyatt and the team at Solis if you have any questions. Signing off for today, Kent, 9 Business Group with the Elevate Your Business chat. Bye for now.
Thank you.